Patrick Cooch from the Carlton Footy Club. You're listening to the Coaches Panel.
Dane Zorko here from the Brisbane Lions.
Jason Johannesson from the Western Bulldogs.
Luke Parker here from the Sydney Swans.
It's Rory Sloane here from the Adelaide Crows, and you're listening to the Coaches Panel.
Max Orr, Melbourne Football Club.
This is Nat Fyfe from the Fremantle Footy Club, and you're listening to the Coaches Panel.
Hello, it's MJ from the Coaches Panel, and we are just days away, potentially, from the start of the 2020 AFL season. And recently here at the Coaches Panel, I had an opportunity to head down to the annual AFL Captains Media Day, where I had an opportunity to talk with many of the different AFL captains, get their take on the 2020 season and some insights about players, positions, some cash cows, and even the captains themselves, the roles they're going to play in 2020. Throughout this episode, you'll hear from Scott Pendlebury, Mitch Duncan, Tom Mitchell. Oh yes, we'll ask him if he's cherry ripe. Seb Ross, and a whole ton of other players coming up on this podcast episode. We're chatting with Mitch Duncan, arguably the best looking man on the Geelong Football Club. Is that how we're going to go for it, or would Gaz be shattered at that approach?
Well, Tom Hawkins would be shattered.
He would be.
You're talking Gary Rowan or Gary Ablett?
Both.
Gary Rowan.
It wouldn't be said about Gary Rowan, would it? Surely not.
No, it wouldn't be said about me too. But I'm happy to take it.
Yeah, take every compliment you can get, mate. That's okay. Yeah, exactly right. Now, first question, how's the body? And are we getting close to seeing you back playing full-time footy?
Yeah, very close. Put in, a mountain of work in the last kind of 6 weeks on the track, and before that in, doing the conditioning and
the
bikes and stuff like that, which is swimming. Can get quite tedious at times, but yeah, I am close, and I took a few more sessions off this week, and hopefully be able to play a VFL game, which is set on Friday night, and then all barring a mishap or not obviously in good enough form. Hopefully might be able to put my hand up for round one. So we'll just have to see how that goes the next couple of weeks.
And you guys have got a little bit of change coming through the midfield, unfortunately, with Tim Kelly moving on, but guys like Quentin Narkle seem like they're more than filling the void, as much as you would have loved TK around still.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jack Stephen we saw yesterday in the Marsh Cup game in Colac. He kind of hasn't really lost too much. You can really understand why he won 4 BNFs at Sydney, the way he trains, and he's just a workhorse. So looking forward to playing with both those players, in the coming future.
Yeah, and you got a couple of fresh-faced kids that look like they're really pushing for a round one debut as well.
Yeah, there's plenty coming through. It keeps the old blokes like myself on our toes, and continually drives us as well. So we want that improvement from them, but it continually drives us as well. And I think everyone on the list needs to improve if we want to take it to that next step.
Yeah, and what sort of role are we going to see you playing in 2020, man?
Probably very similar on the wing and, pinch it through the midfield. I suppose have that versatility a little bit, which is obviously important in the game at the moment, but can sometimes be a bit of a downfall. You're never stuck in one position. But, I think through the midfield and on the wing, pretty similar to last year.
Nice, man. Appreciate your help.
Thanks, mate.
We're chatting with Dane Zorko, who every time I see you, I will let you know you are the tallest man always in the room. And how does that getting taller every year?
Yeah, I am actually. What am I now? 5'1", so it's a good feeling.
Getting it done. Pretty impressive year from your boys. Didn't quite end the way you'd like, but some big recruits in the off-season. Some kids have really developed too, really having a big crack at 2020, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Quite optimistic with the talent that we've got coming through. We picked up a young kid called Devin Robertson, which you saw on the weekend. Played extremely well. Very proud with how he's sort of developed. We got Cam Ellis-Sholman, Graham Birchwood, Cal Archie that have all come in, fitted in really nicely into our system. So, another big year. But our key message is we just want to constantly improve. We want to keep improving. If we keep improving, then we put ourselves in a good position.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple of great recruits that have come in, one through the draft. But a guy that's been around a little bit is Brandon Starcevich. We're going to see him having a go in round one, do you reckon?
Oh, I think so. I'm not picking the team, but
if you were,
if I was, I'd have him in. Yeah, I think he's had a fantastic year. He's got so much X factor about him, and I think there's so much untapped talent there that he's going to be a very, very good player in the future. Yeah,
I think so too. Are we going to see a similar role from you, predominantly mid, but getting some time forward, or is there a bit of a change with you mentioned these talented kids coming through the mids?
Well, it's hard to really get a gauge on it at the moment, but I reckon I'll be playing predominantly forward, which I'm more than comfortable with. And if the midfield needs me, they need me. But other than that, I'm happy just working my craft down there with Charlie and seeing what we can do down there.
Mate, you'll create a dynamic duo. Well done, mate.
Thank you very much.
Chatting with Josh Kennedy, one of the captains and long-time leaders of the Sydney Swans. Mate, are you excited and ready for another big season?
Yeah, I am. It's going to be a pretty great year, I think, in terms of the footies thing. I think it's a really even competition. Certainly, even the last couple of years, footy tipping has gone out the window because any team can beat anyone on any given day. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we bring, how we can improve, and look forward to implement those.
Well, you've got some really talented young players that have come through. Dill Stevens, Will Gould, even Ollie Florence. Really looks like he's taken it to another level this pre-season.
Yeah, absolutely. Ollie's in his third year now, or fourth year. So, these guys, I'm really excited to see how they can implement all their hard work that they've put in throughout the pre-season into this year and help us get better as a team.
And how far away is Buddy Franklin away from getting a crack into the team?
Not far at all. He's running now. He's training. So it's just a matter of time. He's kept absolutely in cherry ripe shape, fitness-wise, so I don't think it'll be too long.
One of my favourites is Jordan Dawson. Could pretty much kick the ball 100 metres and pinpoint it from anywhere you like. What sort of role are we going to see from him last year? He was a little bit of a Mr. Fix-It across the ground most of the year. Yeah,
he's been playing, last few weeks down back. He's really straightened us up, as you said, with that he's kicking, his ability to intercept marks. So I think we'll be seeing a bit of that from him this year. And
what about for your good self, mate? Just being the Rock of Gibraltar through the midfield again, mate? That's not the nickname you've ever got, is it? What is the worst nickname you've ever got, by the way?
The worst nickname?
Yeah, the worst nickname.
Not too sure, mate.
We can't probably keep it a G rating.
Yeah, that's right.
Fair enough. Good man.
I'm feeling pretty confident and fit and ready to go. So, I'm ready to do what the team needs me to do, whether it's in the midfield or helping the young players develop or whatever it is. I'm ready and willing to do it.
I'm sure you're doing that, mate. Good on you. Good luck.
Good on you.
Cheers, mate. Chatting with Rory Sloane, the brand new, not really new Adelaide Crows captain anymore, but solo for the first year, mate. How does that feel, that great responsibility you've got now to lead the club?
I've always felt like I've had a certain responsibility, being a senior bloke at the footy club, just to take a bit of leadership. Last year sharing one of my best mates was one of the years I'll cherish forever too, so in Tex that is. But yeah, mate, I'm just excited. We've got a lot of change that has obviously happened over the summer. New coaches, a lot of young guys coming in, so it's an exciting time at the Adelaide Crows.
Yeah, you got some incredibly talented kids too. Chase Jones looks like he's going to be a player. Shane McAdam can pretty much take him from the roof of the Adelaide Oval. We're going to see some of these guys get their chance round one?
Yeah, 100%. Chase, you know a lot about. Ned McHenry, Darcy Fogarty has played. Miles Paholke's played some great footy for us too, and these kids have had great summers. Tyson Stengel, Shane McAdam, he's one of the most exciting blokes, and I've seen the most improvement probably from him. So it's an exciting time. We've still got this really strong core group of players that have played a lot of senior footy, and then you inject this excitement around. I think it's going to be a good year.
Yeah, it seems like, whether it be just the outside noise, feels like it's written the club off and it's destined for the bottom of the ladder. But you're right, most of your core players from the past few years are all still at the club. Is that exciting to kind of have the pressure off for the first time in a few years?
Yeah, internally we still want to play finals, want to win finals, and ultimately win the premiership. That's an internal goal. But externally, yeah, people can write us off. There's been a lot of change, so that's generally what happens. But yeah, we're excited by the challenge, mate.
Mate, you're going to do great this year. Congrats.
Thanks very much.
Good on you, buddy. Chatting with Scott Pendlebury of the Collingwood Football Club. It's been a long pre-season for you boys, but it looks like you're really cherry ripe and going to have another big tilt at going for a premiership.
That's the aim. So yeah, got through our pre-season, got a clean bill of health leading into round one, and pretty excited to get to this point, and now we've just got to get through today and get to round one, and everyone will be very excited.
One of your recruits didn't get a heap of attention in the off-season, was it Darcy Cameron, but he looks like he's going to provide a real nice chop out for Brodie, and also, press for forward selection and make it tough.
He'll put pressure on our key position stocks, which is something that we need. And he played well in the first Marsh game, so he's come in from Sydney. He can definitely take a mark. He's a big fellow that adds to our depth in those stocks, and as you said, he'll push for round one selection.
And it must be really nice. You mentioned that clean bill of health where you've had guys like, Jamie Elliott's had not a whole heap of luck, even Jordan De Goey's hamstrings at times. So it must be nice to see these guys up front knowing they're going to be there for it.
Yeah, it's great. And personally for them guys too, to just do what they like doing. Nothing worse than seeing guys in rehab and not being able to just do the thing that they love doing, that's taken away from them. So both those guys that you mentioned, hopefully Tommy Langdon can get back by mid-season. Levi Greenwood, Lyndon Dunn. So we've got a couple of guys that are injured, but they're all on their way back, which is positive.
Training with Trent Cotchin, two-time premiership captain. No doubt, mate, going for number 3, I'm sure.
Well, that's the plan, as is 17 other club captains here today. So, but excited. I think the clubs are all really evenly placed in 2020 and looking forward to it.
Well, and your games, it's been incredible to watch the diversity of your game change over the past couple of years, but not just for you, but the improvement of the entire side. There's still more improvement in the group too, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd like to think so. And then even we look at our youth and, across the pre-season, some of the performances we've seen from our young midfield and forwards as well. It's been great to watch and exciting for our future.
Yeah, and you got some talented kids, Sydney Stack's one of those guys that wasn't part of the premiership. Jack Graham's going to come back into the side. It's looking really good for you boys, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'd hate to be on the selection panel for round 1 because I'm sure there's going to be some disappointed boys, but I think it's also a credit to the way the club runs our VFL program. They love it. It's a great environment and gives them plenty of opportunity.
We're chatting with Seb Ross of the St Kilda Footy Club. Mate, you have moved about a 10 centimetre radius since we've seen you here all morning. How does the captaincy responsibility sit on the shoulders, mate?
But yeah, this is the first time I've ever done this, so this is good, not having to move around the room.
Free breakfast.
Got a free lunch coming up.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know how the captaincy sits. It's because, Gears I'm still vice captain. Yeah,
we know.
Obviously, I'd like to be doing it in a different circumstance because when I've had to captain the footy club, it usually means Gears has either been injured, which has been the case particularly last year, missing 17 games. So having to skip to the side for 17 games last year was something I didn't expect. I learned a lot from that experience, but I still prefer him to be here today than me.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And plenty of changes come to the footy club over the past 12 months. New captain and just an absolute bucket load of talent to walk through the door through the trade period. Yeah. How are you feeling about some of the new teammates you've got and some of the skills they're going to bring to your side?
I'm excited. I'm really excited this year. I think, I've said to some of the other media quirks, is that it's been quite refreshing. We've had a fair bit of change upstairs. Rats is new, but he was already there. But someone like David Rath and Roughhead, they've brought new things to the upstairs department, and then to have 6 mature age guys come across the trade period and pre-season period, and then 3 draftees. And I think out of those guys, 5 of them probably are now starting 18. So that's a quarter of the team that's going to be running out different in about 10 days' time. So it's been refreshing, it's been exciting, and I've loved every minute this pre-season.
And then there's a guy that is not new to the club, been around for a little while, but we're finally going to get to see Max King get launched out on the club. That must be exciting. Seeing what you've seen behind the scenes, now Saints fans are really getting a chance to see what he can do.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know, I just sort of, as a teammate and as a player, I sort of always try and hold myself back a little bit about talking about a prospect like Max King, because at the end of the day, he's a person. He's a 20-year-old kid. I don't want him to feel like he's got the world of expectations on his shoulders, because there's going to be, if he's in the round, next week there'll be 21 other blokes running around out there with more experience than he is, so those guys can shoulder the load and just let him get down to business. But I think he's had a pretty unique start to his career. He's done it tough, and I think for any players that have ever spent like a long stint in rehab, it does them. Whilst it's a shitty place to be, it does them the world of good in terms of their professionalism, from a gratitude point of view, how much you miss actually training and playing with the boys. So I'm just more excited to be running out there with him, and hopefully he's someone that I can just kick the footy, and if it comes off my knee, he'll probably still be able to mark it and get there.
Mate. Hey, good to see you, man. All the best.
Thanks,
got you, bud. Good to see you. Chatting with Tom Mitchell, mate. The question you've been asked probably 832 times. How you feeling? Good to see you going round 1, mate, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I've gained some confidence from the 2 Marsh games so far, and yeah, I'm just excited to play footy again. It's been a long time out and looking forward to getting back out there.
Mate, you've done well, but in your absence, there's been some other kids that have really stand up. Warpedo's done his job, and it looks like that midfield's really filling out nicely.
No, it is. Warps took his game to another level last year, and Chad Wingard played more time in the midfield last year, so I'm looking forward to playing with those two. I haven't played a lot of footy. I haven't played none with Chad, and much with Warp, so just looking forward to being out there, enjoying ourselves and seeing what we can do.
Chatting with Jack Zeeble, the captain of the North Melbourne Football Club. Mate, some kids are starting to turn it on for your footy club, aren't they? Blokes like Tazza Thomas is really starting to emerge. He looks like he's going to be a serious player for you.
Yeah, we've got a young bunch of players that have been pressing their claims and have really improved over the last year or two, and we're hopeful that's the case again in 2020. And you mentioned Taron Thomas. He had a great year last year for his first year, and we're expecting him to go to another level again in year two. And other guys like Nick Larkey and Cam Zerha, guys that have come into our footy team like Jack Marnie and Aidan Bonner as well, are all pressing their claims and have also improved. So it's an exciting time to be a North Melbourne supporter, and we're looking forward to the year ahead.
Where are we going to see Aidan in the year? Because you guys are absolutely stocked on the inside. Where are we going to see him play for your footy club this year?
Well, I think he's an inside midfielder, but he's also got the ability to go forward as well. So we are building quite a bit of depth through that midfield, which I think you need in the modern day footy. And with him, myself, Ben Cunnington, Sean Higgins, Jay Anderson, these guys can all go and play forward as well. So he just adds to that midfield rotation. So I'd expect him to be playing that midfield split with forward a little bit this year when he gets his opportunity.
Yeah, nice. And a guy that's really kind of caught people's attention over these past couple of Marsh Series games is Curtis Taylor. Really classy sort of play. What are you guys hoping to get out of him this year?
Well, he's another guy who got a taste for it last year. I think he played 2 or 3 senior games and has really had a really impressive pre-season. He's really gone to work and got fit and strong, and he's a very capable player. He's very talented. I think we all saw his mark against the Bulldogs a couple of weeks ago, and his ability to get the job done as a mid-forward, it's a pretty tough role at times, but his ability to work and his work ethic, I think, is going to hold him in really good stead in that position for us.
And you, similar sort of split to what we've seen over the past couple of years in terms of your role?
Yeah, I've said in the past, and I'll continue to say that I'm dictated to by the coach, but what we've discussed is probably a 50-50 split mid and forward, depending on what the team needs each week. So, as I said, we've got that flexibility in the midfield to be able to rotate a few guys forward, and we expect that to be the same this year.
Mate, appreciate your time.
Done.
So there you go. That is what some of the AFL captains have to say about their team, their role, some cash cows, and what maybe we could expect in the 2020 AFL Fantasy SuperCoach and Dream Team season. The pre-season, God willing, is almost done and dusted, and the 2020 season is not too far away. On that, our 2020 Cash Cow Guide is out now. It is ready for you to go, download and check out for all our Patreons who are our loyal fanatical fans of the Coaches Panel. If you want to join the Patreon army, it helps keep the Coaches Panel doing what it's doing, and also gives you exclusive content like that Cash Cow Guide, over 50 pages looking at every single cash cow we have. And as we talked about on our most recent podcast episode, there are plenty of options. In-depth analysis on every single cash cow, their job security and their scoring potential. It's a must-read for every fantasy footy coach. You want to get into the Patreon army and get a hold of that. The Midweek Trade and Strategy podcast is not too far away, and as I've said a few times now, hopefully the pre-season is done and round 1 is underway.